All right, folks. Um, there's two realities in the land, and there's flesh and spirit. The Bible talks about flesh and spirit, and all Christians have a flesh and a spirit. And your spirit, man, is is your born again spirit where God lives. And He's talking to a lot of all of us to live by our faith, to trust in Him. But there is a great shaking going on, and those who live in the flesh and follow after the flesh, uh, they're not going to have any peace. They're not going to have any protection, because if you war in the flesh, you'll of the flesh. If you get in the flesh and just live in the carnal, now I'm talking to some people that might not quite understand what I'm saying. It's basically this: you can be a part of the problem. You can react negatively to your surroundings, or you can react positively. Now, reacting positively takes growth and it takes maturity. It's not easy to react positively when, especially when you're rivaled and people are coming against you, because your flesh can't do that. So when you're in the flesh, your natural instinct is to get back and return evil for evil. Now, Christians, you have the ability not to do that, because Jesus said not to. Anything Jesus says not to do, you have the ability to do. And He gave a sermon on the mount for those who wants to go on and follow Him. Now, those people didn't. After He preached the sermon on the mount, Jesus lost 70 followers that followed Him all the time, and the disciples. Uh, they barely can handle that message, because Jesus said, "Do good to them that hate you." He said, "Turn the other cheek." He said, "Don't react negatively when somebody hates you." He said, "Love those who curse you. Do good to them that despisefully use you." That takes maturity. Not many people can do that nowadays, but that's the answer. It's always the answer, is to live at peace and don't rival back when you're rivaled or when you're spoke to negatively. Don't get into argument. Don't fight. Paul said our war is not against flesh and blood. So there's two kind of people in the earth, two kinds of Christians, and there's the unbelievers. Now they're just reacting out of their pain and anger, and because they don't see things correctly. So why get mad at them? Or why get mad at what's happening in the earth? Because those people are without hope. There's no hope in the land anymore. That's why people are reacting like this. But our hope is in God. We hope in what we don't see. For if you hope in what you see, it's not hope. So there's no way that the world right now has any hope. And it's going to get worse. So we have to walk as children of our faith and children of the light. He said, "Be children of the light and walk thereafter, being a light to the world, showing this peace, this joy and righteousness, this kingdom which is not of the earth, that it is in every believer. For we are ambassadors, and we display a hope to the world." Jesus said, "When they call you up, you'll have an answer for the hope that is in you." Have an answer for the hope that is in you. Hallelujah. That is the witness that Jesus said, "You will be made witnesses unto me, Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the uttermost parts of the world." God's calling us up to a place in Him that we can be a witness to the people without hope. God put me in a sleep today. I was confronted by a family member, and we always get in an argument. But God put me in a supernatural sleep, which He does at times. When things get so bad and your soul realm is being tested, your soul is being under attack, and you're being led into areas that you don't want to go, whether it be a family member, neighbors, or anybody, God rescues his sheep. He does. He lifts a standard up.